Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily, and today I'm going to be doing all the romance on my radar that I really want to get to soon, especially with the new year coming. This is the last video in my three-part series that I am doing of books that I really want to get to sooner rather than later in the different genres I read. I will have the horror/mystery thriller one, I will have the fan row, the fantasy, and then this one, of course, will be on this video, and then I will have the rest of them linked down below if you want to go check out any of the other ones that I really want to get to. So the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to screen record on my computer. You will hear me talking. So on Goodreads, I have a little table for my romance books. These are going to be like contemporary romance and dark romance. These are all the books I want to get to as soon as I can, rather than like other ones that I would potentially get to along the way, but these ones are just like higher up on my radar. Hopefully this all makes sense to you, and hopefully if you've seen the other videos, you will already know what this is going to entail and how the video is going to run. I'm really excited for all these books, and I just want to read them all right now, but I am trying to contain myself a little bit because I know I can't read them all, and I do have a TBR I still need to finish. But anyway, that TBR is not going very well right now. Anyway, so I'm going to quit talking. We're going to get right into the video, so let's get to it. Okay, so we're on my Goodreads for the final list that I will be going over, and that is Romance on My Radar. There are 37. I'm going to try and go through these quickly, but it's kind of hard because I like to go over what they're about, but I'm going to try not to go in too much depth. So first I have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I read this in 2021, but essentially this is like her brother's best friend. He is forced to look after her, and he starts to have feelings for her, and she starts to have feelings for him. It's kind of, I want to say, like a little bit of enemies to lovers, but I really enjoyed this, and I just want to know about the other characters and the other books after this, so that's why I want to reread this and give the other books a chance. Then I have Stolen Crush by C.M. Stunich. I really enjoy C.M. Stunich's books. I feel like she is a little bit underrated. I don't hear anyone on BookTube talking about her. So this is one I've been waiting for the entire series to come out before I read it, and it has finally finished, so I can finally give it a chance. Okay, so in this one, we're following a girl whose father is a serial killer, and he's kind of playing games with her, and her mother, her biological mother, wants her to live with her on the opposite side of the country. And she's got a new stepbrother, and she is just not having a great time. And, when she was 2, she was kidnapped by a loving family, sure, but still kidnapped. And yeah, so the dad does something, and now she has to play the game, and this is a reverse harem. Unfortunately, it's in a high school setting, but whatever. I still really enjoy C.M. Stunich's writing and her relationships between characters, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Next, I have The Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. We're following a couple who cannot be more hateful of each other. They absolutely hate each other, but their families think that them getting married might prevent an all-out warfare that's going on between them. And that's all I know about this one. I'm really intrigued. Everyone loves this series, and I just want to give it a try. Then I have An Optimist's Guide to Heartbreak by Jennifer Hartman. I have not read any books by Jennifer Hartman yet. I hear that they are real tear jerkers, and they can be really dark. This one I'm just gonna like read a little bit. It says, "Dear Diary, there once was a girl with fireflies in her eyes and music in her soul. Remember her, she's important. She's the reason I panic bought the little brick house on Maple Street, the one I lived next door to for 8 magical years. Now that I'm back digging up floorboards and lost journals, I can't stop thinking about the 2 people who grew up here. You see, that girl was my best friend, and this house was once hers. She also had a big brother who was my everything before circumstance turned us into nothing more than memories. That's why I applied for a job at Zada Shop, unprepared to discover that my new boss, Cal Bishop, is now gruff-built and covered in tattoos. I'm the sun to his overcast sky, the smile to his surly solitude, a reminder of everything he longs to forget. But my heart has a secret, and we're running out of time to fix our torn pages. Maybe the same girl who used to be the glue still holds the key to putting our pieces back together. See, I told you she was important. Toodles, Lucy." So we've got Grumpy Sunshine, we've got some kind of relationship before that something happened and now they don't talk to each other, but she really wants to. So I'm just really interested. I know that this is a duology, and I know that people aren't as happy with the second book, but I still want to know what happens. Next, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I have read this one. I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely enjoyed this one. It was a long book, 572 pages. But it says bearded bad boy Barber Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone unless you count his basset hound Waylon. Knox doesn't tolerate drama even when it comes in the form of a stranded runaway bride. So we follow Naomi, who ran away from her wedding as it was happening to her estranged twin in Knockemout. And a lot of people are thinking that she is the twin, and she already can tell that her twin has done some damage in this town because everyone hates her on the spot. And then she finds out she has a niece and just all this stuff. Her sister ends up taking her car and her money and stuff and going away, and she is kind of forced to rely on Knox, and things go from there. But I really enjoyed it. It was really fun, found family, small town romance, and yes. Next, I have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This one has a lot of good ratings and a lot of ratings in general. So, this one we're following Johnny and Shannon has been bullied for most of her life, so she moves with her brother, I believe. And I think this is an Ireland setting. I don't know. Anyway, but it says his first, last, and only true love has always been rugby until now. He wants to save her. She wants to hide. She's damaged. He's determined. Fate brought them together. Love binds them. This book is so long. It is 600 pages. That's really long for a romance, but I just want to know. I need to know, and it sounds so good, so that one's on the list. Next, I have Twice in a Lifetime by Melissa Barron. Will it load? It says the time traveler's wife meets Una out of order, and that's kind of all I need to know. So, from what I can gather, Isla gets a text from a man who seems to think he's her husband. Obviously a wrong number, except when she points this out, the mysterious texter sends back a picture of them on their wedding day. So she starts up a relationship with him, texting, and she feels like he could be reaching out to her from a few years into the future. And I don't know, it just sounds so good. And like the thought of like them being in two different times, like, I don't know, it just sounds really good. And it feels like maybe she needed this to keep going, maybe. I don't know. It sounds really good, and I really want to read it. Next, I have another one that I've already read, and that's Whispers of You by Catherine Cowles. I read this, I think, earlier this past year, and I absolutely enjoyed it, but I wanted to finish the Tattered Stars series before I finished this one, so I started the second one of this one, but I felt like I needed to go back and reread this one, so I wanted to give that one a better chance. So this one, it says, one night a single bullet cost me everything. My body broken beyond repair. The boy I thought was my forever. The life I'd always dreamt of. Now holds back, and he's no longer a boy, but a man with shadows in his eyes and demons haunting him. He says he's here to make things right, to get back a little bit of what all we've lost, and he doesn't show any signs of leaving the small town that has been my refuge. So this one, she does write pretty good suspense romance, and I really like her writing and her relationships and books and stuff, so I just want to reread this one so that I can get to the rest of the series because it's so good. Next, I have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This is, I think, some kind of marriage of convenience, maybe. She's the wife he never wanted, and the weakness he never saw coming. Ruthless, meticulous, arrogant. He thrives on control, both personally and professionally. And she is a jewelry heiress and daughter of his newest enemy. It doesn't matter how beautiful or charming she is, he'll do everything in his power to destroy the evidence and their betrothal. There's only one problem. Now that he has her, he can't bring himself to let her go. So I'm not really sure what to expect from this one other than billionaire, maybe. Billionaire, arranged marriage, romance, and some mild violence, apparently. But I'm really interested because I loved her twisted first book. I really want to give this series a try because I hear really good things, and it has tons of ratings and a good rating. So next we have another Catherine Cowles series, and that's Beautifully Broken Pieces. Again, I don't want to start this series until after I finished The Whispers of You, and the last book comes out in February, I believe. But a woman who's lost everything, she's looking for peace and quiet away from the memories of all she's lost. A small mountain town where no one knows her seems like the perfect escape. A man battling the ghosts of his past. Walker loves his life just the way it is. His town, his family, his brothers in blue. Everything's simple and easy until a chance encounter changes it all. So we've got a cop romance, another small town. She does small towns perfectly. And I am so excited for all her series, so I can't wait to get to this one. Also, I think this might be the second series she wrote. I could be wrong, but either way, I just want to read all her books. Oh, next we have the series that I think is the first one she wrote, and that is Reckless Memories by Catherine Cowles. So it says, I loved him before I knew what the word meant, from skin knees to first dates and everything in between, but he was never mine to love. I settled for friendship even though I always wanted more. That was before he ripped my world apart and didn't bother sticking around to help me pick up the pieces. I knit every last shred back together all on my own, and I've all but forgotten his name. Now he's back and everything is torn apart once more, but he's not the only one doing the tearing this time, and there might be no stopping the person who has it out for both of us. So again, romantic suspense, small town, I think, maybe, enemies to lovers, perhaps, but sounds really good, and I just love her covers. Like, she has the best covers, but I need to get to the series also. Then I have Little Lies by Helena Hunting. I read another book by this author before, and I enjoyed it, but I picked this one up because Jess from Peace Love Books really hypes this one up. It says, you laughed your way through her parents' story, but Lavender Water's path is a little different. That sweet, shy girl who melted everyone's heart is all grown up, and she's about to face her biggest demon. All she can do is hope she's strong enough not to let him break her again. So I'm thinking there's like a series that, because it says her parents' story, but this is a standalone angsty new adult romance. It's so good. And I need to know. Jess does a lot better of explaining what this book is, but I am still interested. The cover is pretty good, and yeah, so that's another one on the list. Then I have Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I absolutely love Haunting Addie series, like, so good. I need more of her kind of romance, and this is the only other book recently out. I know she has, I think, one or two other backlist books, but I'm not sure I'm interested in those, but this one I definitely am. We're following a girl. I think she steals someone's identity or whatever, and he ends up trying to get revenge on her, and then they're stuck on this little island with this lighthouse, and it is very dark, but there's also some suspense. So yeah, that's all I need to know. The cover's stunning, and I really want to get to it. Then I have Triple Threat by Kay Webster. This one has a reverse harem, but I think it's between, like, these triplets that are brothers. I'm a prisoner in a prestigious world, a perfect princess locked in a tower. My father will... Oh, this one's fantasy. But it also says contemporary romance. I have no idea what this one falls under, but I put it under contemporary, but it could be fantasy, so we're just gonna roll with it. A princess locked in a tower. My father will never let me go. Not that I could leave. I would never abandon my little sister. Hope comes in the form of a devilishly handsome man with dark eyes and dark secrets. With each encounter, I'm lured deeper into the labyrinth. The danger lurking beneath his surface calls to me even as it warns me away. Except there's a new side of him every time we meet, a different danger each time we touch. It's as if 3 different men went to devour me. He's not just one villain, he's 3. So, I don't know what this falls under, but I definitely want to read it. So, yeah, it doesn't have, like, the best rating, but I still want to give it a try because, you know, there's always an underdog, so maybe this is it. I have The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. I've read her before. I really like her writing and her love interest. So this one is part of a series, and I want to read all of them. I believe they're all like pretty much standalones, but they build off each other. It says The Chosen One, I vow, you vow, we vow. There's some kind of like cult in this college, whatever, but this girl is picked to be his, like, I don't know, like lover. It says that they devote their lives to violence in exchange for power. During their senior year, they are offered a chosen one. Riot picks her, and he gave her an option for a better life. He offered me what no one else ever had, freedom. I chose to be his. He made me believe that anyway, but it was just another lie, a way that the lords manipulate you into doing what they want. Dark, great, love it, college romance. I'm in for it. Give Me a Reason by A.L. Jackson. I believe the female in this is a ballerina, and he is part of a motorcycle group. But I think it says Ian Murphy came into my club looking to make some extra cash. Trent Lawson is the last man I should have won, but neither of us can ignore the attraction that flames. Dragging her into my sordid world is wrong. Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds really good. Single dad, enemies to lovers, standalone romance about a jaded club owner and his son's teacher. So sounds really good, and I love the cover. So, yeah. I have Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano. Sam Mariano is known for writing some pretty dark romances, and I believe I read part of Untouchable. I put that book down because I accidentally read ahead and got a little spoiled, so I feel like I need to come back to it. And yeah, anyway, this one, I don't even know where to start with this one. It says, he could have been my hero. He saved my life that night. A beautiful dark angel slicing through my fear and the water, dragging me from its deadly clutches. He should have been my hero. I thought maybe he was. I don't really want to know a whole lot about this. It says number 1. I don't know that there's anything else under. Oh, maybe there is. Okay, I didn't know that. Anyway, I guess it's part of a series. But I really want to get to it, so there's that. Next, I have Knotted by Pam Godwin. I loved Sea of Ruin by this author, and I haven't read any of her other books, and I know I really need to, because her writing is great, and, like, the relationships she builds are really good, and I don't know, I need to know more from her. This one has, like, a cowboy. It says, I try to forget her, it's impossible. Growing up together, Connor and I shared all our first love, first kiss, not all our first. We were 16 the night she was violently assaulted while I helplessly watched. I'll never forget the sounds of her suffering or my inconsolable agony when she left Oklahoma. Years later, she returns to honor our teenage pact. Except the boy she loved is gone, replaced by a ruthless cattle rancher, knotted with secrets. She doesn't know my dark cravings or the trails of sin that lead to her. I don't deserve her, but one truth remains, she's mine. So, great. Love it. I need to know more. Next, I have Deviant Hearts by J.K. Cole. This is a male author, which is very interesting to see in the romance world. It says, to stop a mafia war, I'm being forced to marry my sworn enemy. That's all I want to know. All I want to know, it's a mafia romance, arranged marriage, enemies to lovers, with a smart, untamable heroine, an ultra-possessive hero with look at her and I'll unlive you energy. Yeah, so I need to read this one soon. Narrow by S.J. Tilly. I've already read this one. I believe I read it for 72 Hours in the Smut Den, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I did not continue, but I know I really want to, so I want to reread this one and get back into the series. So I'm just going to reread this one and go from there. It's mafia. I think there's a plus-size heroine. And, yeah. I know that, yeah, he walks through her open patio door and her life kind of gets changed forever, but it's very interesting. So I really enjoyed this one. I really want to read it to get to the others. Next, I have Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. I've never read anything by this author, but I hear such good things from it, and it kind of reminds me of Catherine Cowles a little bit because it's romantic suspense in small towns and stuff. So, again, I don't want to know too much more, but I really love the covers of this series, and I heard really good things about it. So, then I have Mad World by Hannah McBride. I read a fantasy series by this author. Well, I read the first book, and I really enjoyed it, but I saw this one, and this one sounded really good. It's an enemies to lovers college romance. I, Madison, have spent the last 17 years in a trailer with my mom as she rolled from one addiction to the next. All I wanted was to survive high school and get out of this place. Finding out I had a long-lost twin sister on the other side of the country seemed like something out of a movie. Too bad I didn't realize it was a horror movie. Now I'm Madeline, so that just sounds really good, and when I went on TikTok and looked at the aesthetic for this, it just looks so amazing. And I have the entire series, so I would like to get to this one pretty soon. Then I have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I hear lots of good things about the series. I do have the audiobooks out on Audible, the first 4 anyway, so I really want to get to this one. This series is a collection of fractured fairy tales where the villains get the happily ever after. It's not a literal retelling and not fantasy. This book features mature themes and content that may not be suitable for all audiences. So, dark romance, semi-retelling, but not really. Sounds great. I want to know more. I have Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. This one kind of blew up this year. Tons of ratings. I think she might be a caterer or a wedding planner or something. An ambitious wedding planner must work with her grumpy florist ex whose heart she broke on the most high-profile wedding of her career in this spicy and emotional romance. He loves me not, the flower picking. Anyway, sounds good. I hear really good things about the series. I love this cover and the vibes it's given off. So I really want to check this one out. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Sometimes the worst day of your life happens and you have to figure out how to live after it. So I know there's something with this house. Like, she moves in, but she sees this guy and they're kind of living together, but he's like got a 7-year difference from her, like time-wise, and she only sees him in the house. So I don't know, it's very unique. It kind of reminds me of Twice in a Lifetime, like there's some kind of time thing, but it just sounds really good, and it was a nominee for Best Romance this year, but I don't know, it just sounds really good and I want to read more. Next, I have another really dark romance, and that's That Sick Love by Jesse Hall. This has to do with a cult and a guy, I think, that is supposed to be watching her, but he ends up, like, helping her. It kind of gives me, like, Addie vibes, Haunting Adeline. That's all I want to know. Then I have Heartless Heathens by Santana Knox. The cover is beautiful and very dark. I know this is, reverse harem. Love me a reverse harem. It says it's a why choose gothic romance in an academy setting loosely inspired from the major points of Victor Hugo's Notre Dame de Paris or whatever, so Hunchback of Notre Dame, kind of. It's not a retelling. It is not a fractured fairy tale or a reimagining. All characters are adults. So, sounds good. I need to know more. Okay, sorry, I had to answer a phone. It seems to be a theme on these videos. Next, I have Sweet Dandelion by Makalia Smeltzer. This one is, I think, a romance between her and a therapist, I think. It says Dandelion Meadows is cursed, horrible name, horrible luck, 18, she should be headed off to college, all smiles and naivety, I don't know how to say this, naivety, I don't know. Instead, a victim of a school shooting, she's starting her senior year in a new city, living with her brother. Nightmares of the terrible day haunt her, affecting her daily life and the relationships around her. Forced to meet with the school counselor, Danny finds him chipping away at the wall she's built around herself and even her heart. So it's definitely a taboo book, but I don't know, all the covers for this book are so stunning, and this one sounds a little hard to swallow, I think, with the theme surrounding it and the tabooness, so I just want to give it a try. It's 600 pages. It's a big book, but hopefully I like it, so we will see. Then I have Love Unexpected by QB Tyler. It has a perfect list right here. Forbidden romance, taboo, age gap, stepfather, stepdaughter, enemies to lovers, interracial couple. That's all I need to know. Sounds great. I don't know that I've read anything by QB Tyler, but I really would like to try this one. This next one I have, I'm not going to even click on it because there's nothing there yet, but it's H.D. Carlton's next book, I hope. And I think it might be fantasy. I'm not sure, but that's on here, but it doesn't have anything on it, so we're moving on. Echo in Time by Lindsay Sparks. This one could also be kind of fantasy romance, I think. I just wasn't sure. It's probably a lot more urban, paranormal, whatever. Anyway, this kind of reminds me of, like, The Mummy a little bit. So this girl, she's an archaeology grad student, and her world's turned upside down when her mother shares her deepest, darkest secret that she doesn't know her true identity of Lex's father. And this sparks a change with her, and her dreams become far too real. She sees things she shouldn't be able to see, knows things she couldn't possibly know, terrifying things, deadly things. So I know that, I think she goes to Egypt, maybe, and there's some stuff going on there. I don't know. It sounds really good, and anything that could be lined up with The Mummy, yes, absolutely, 100%. I will definitely be getting to this book very soon. Okay, just a couple more books left. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. Has quite a few ratings. Again, I think it's every serial killer needs a friend. Every game must have a winner. So I think these two serial killers kind of start this game with each other, and they slowly fall in love. And yeah, so that's all I know about it, but it's very interesting. I think a lot of people say it gives like mindfuck vibes, so if I like this one, maybe I'll check out the Mindfuck series. Then I have Start a War by L. Thorpe. This one, oh yes, okay. So this one follows this girl, and her brother died, and now she wants to know who is it, so she's trying to like get revenge. So to catch a killer, she puts aside her life of money and luxury and takes over running a Psychos, a dive bar in the seedy underbelly of St. View. But I think this is a reverse harem, yes. And she's kind of trying to get them, I think, to help her find out who killed her brother, maybe. Sounds good. Really want to give it a try. I haven't really heard anything about this series, except for maybe a couple times on TikTok, but that's it. And I don't know. I want to know if this is going to be a good series or not. I have Pine River by Tijon. This is a new book of theirs. Again, it's a high school romance. I'm not a huge fan of high school romances, but these authors have a way of making them not feel like romance sometimes. So it says, Pine River was supposed to be a new start for me, and it was, especially attending school with my 3 overprotective cousins who were the triplets at the top of the social hierarchy. Except they weren't alone there, and the first day when I came to school, I saw him. Scout Raiden, tall, lean, tattooed, mesmerizing. He was a golden god with dark and piercing eyes, looking like he wanted to eat me up. The feeling was mutual, and that was the problem. It was a lust, want, must-have, loathing, hate experience all at once. I was affected, and I couldn't have that, no way, not after what I'd just left in Cedro Valley. So interesting. I do have the audiobook for this one. It looks like there's like fighting in this. I don't know, sounds really good. Want to know more. I have Once You're Mine by Morgan Bridges. I have both books in this duology. It says murder brought us together, only death can keep us apart. I think the guy might have killed her father, maybe? I don't know, but he is stalking her now because he's just very intrigued by her. So it's a stalker romance, who falls first, touch her and die energy, willing to do whatever it takes to have her. So great, has tons of trigger warnings, so check them out. But this one, the cover's stunning. I want to know more. I need to know. I'm very intrigued by this book. And next I have Crooked Crows by Elena Lawson. I haven't heard too many things about this series, but I think this is another high school romance book. It's reverse harem. Honestly, that's all I need. I've been wanting to find some new reverse harem books to get into. So that's why there's a bunch on this list. Hopefully they all work for me. I really need to do a video about reverse harems and like those kind of things. So maybe this can be added on to it. Unapologetically fucked up, heartlessly cruel, broken beyond repair. Corvus, Rook, and Gray, the Crows. Bred in a world of gang wars, violence, and secrets, they rule the bloody town of Thorn Valley and all the people in it. Too bad for me, I've never been good at kissing ass or keeping quiet. Yeah, so it has depictions of gang violence, jealous, possessive themes. So I don't know, just enemies, lovers, reverse harem. And I need to know more. I'm sorry I'm not getting a lot of like context about these books, but check them out if you seem at all interested. Just know that reverse harem. That's all I needed to know. And it kind of reminds me of a book series by Sam Stunich called Havoc at Prescott High. It sounds really similar to that, so I think that's also why I wanted to pick it up. So if you like this, maybe you should check out Havoc at Prescott High. That could also be a favorite for you guys. So there's if you like this, try this kind of thing. And lastly, I have Treacherous by Chloe Walsh. I came across this one. I wasn't even like looking for it, but I came across it and it sounded really interesting. It says, when 17-year-old Tegan loses her mother in tragic circumstances, she is forced to move to America to live with her uncle, worlds apart from her home in Ireland. She struggles to find her feet in Colorado, struggling to fit into her new high school and warring with her troubled next-door neighbors. She's in for a wild senior year. So, sounds really good. It looks like there might be some fighting. And it's also by Chloe Walsh, and it has a decent rating, so I'm going to give it a try. It's another book I have the audiobook for, so perfect. So that's everything on my romance on my radar list. I'm really excited to get to all of these. They all just sound so good in their own way, and I'm hoping that with all these romances and fantasy romances and all the books on my radar this year, that I'm going to have a really good year of reading for 2024. So here's to hoping, but that was the last list, so jump to the end of this video, I guess. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed getting to see all the romance books, probably mostly dark romance books that I really want to get to within next year. And I am just super excited to get to all these. I have so many books that I really want to get to, and I can't wait for you guys to see my reading goals, because you will see how many books I really want to get to next year as a reading goal for the Goodreads goal, I guess, anyway. But that was everything. I hope you liked this video. If you did, like it down below. Comment down below letting me know if there are any books on this list you liked and I should prioritize faster, or are there any other books you think should be on this list that have not been put on this list. And subscribe if you want to. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm so close to 500 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!